Showdown time. You lose. Ah! Ah! I seem to be in a bit of trouble. Something like that. Dead. Someone hit him. Hard. Me, please. Cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands. Should it come to that. Geeky 420. Panicked. I'm sweaty. I can admit it, I'm nervous. Good morning. Good morning, sir. You look tense, Justice. And uptight. Wound up, sir? No, I'm loose, I'm fine. That screeching noise. Is that your voice? I suppose it's to be expected. Your first trial and it's homicide. I guess justice, and start small, eh? I'm fine. I got up at 5 a.m. to do my Corset Steel voice workout. I'm fine. That explains it. I did detect a certain raspy quality to your screech. You did it again. As you know, your client today is a good friend of mine. I wouldn't want to let him down, if you get my drift. Drift gone, sir. I'm all over that drift. As it happens, I dined with him the night of the murder. We can't let this case fall through. Yes, I'm fine, sir. One more thing. Don't say you're fine quite so much. He might take you the wrong way. I'll be preparing our case. You might want to introduce yourself to the client. My name is Apollo Justice. If it isn't clear already, I'm a new attorney, and today is my first trial. Not that I'm worried or anything. Fenn has been accused of murder. Ross wants to help him out, of course, and so do I. I mean, there's no way he did it, not him, no way. Whoa. Good, morning. Morning. It's all up to you today. First trial, nervous. Meeting him, cardiac arrest. I think I'm supposed to say something? Help? So, you're... Fine! I'm fine! Mr. Fine, is it? I didn't remember you having an odd name. Oh, off to a great start. Are you sure you're okay? I mean, with me. Mr. Gavin is a top-notch defense attorney. He's your friend, so why... You'll see. Huh? You can do it. Be confident. I'm really sorry this happened to you. I mean, It's time. Shall we? Yes, sir. Okay, I need to focus. First trial, here comes justice. The court is now in session. Prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Defense is, fine. Ready, Your Honor. Blank. Don't panic. Act too late. Your name was Mr. Justice, and this is your first trial. Yes, Your Honor, but I'm fine, really. Are you quite sure? Your voice sounds a bit strained. Mr. Gavin? Yes, Your Honor. I was under the impression that you would be heading up this case. That was my intention, yes. However, a defense attorney must always see to his client's wishes, and my client specifically requested Mr. Justice. Well, of course he wants justice, but entrust his case to this greenhorn. Why? Do not exaggerate when I say that you're the best defense attorney in town, Mr. Gavin. Okay, so Gavin's got trial experience, fine. But does he have Corset Steel? Let's begin. Defendant may enter the courtroom. This is truly an unfortunate turn of events. I'm sorry we had to meet again under these circumstances. Long time no see, Mr. Wright. Let's put the past behind us, shall we? These days I'm merely Phoenix Wright, piano player. Mr. Wright, how could this have happened? I won't speak of it further, then. If the prosecution be so kind as to explain the charges, Mr. Payne?
To think I saw you enter this room a fresh attorney, and now I'll see you leave in chains.
Ah, Winston Payne. Slow as ever, I see.
The crime occurred at Borscht Bowl Club, a Russian restaurant. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, took the victim, a customer, and he hit him, Graham, on the head, smack, killed him cold.
A customer at the restaurant, you say? And defendant, you say he was...
The pianist for the club, it seems.
Phoenix Wright. A pianist?
This is the weapon that took the victim's life. A bottle of grape juice. Grape juice is apparently a defendant's drink of choice.
Court accepts the deadly bottle as evidence. Something to note, Justice. All evidence is filed in the court record. They could practice checking it frequently. The court record. Right, I've heard of that. Use the court record button to look at evidence so far. I'm confident in your ability to handle this. Alright, the court record bucket. Sounds like it's time for some hands-on action. Okay, so... Look at this. It's grape juice. Nope, that seems weird. So the victim was a customer in this restaurant. But just who was this, Shady Smith fellow?
We believe he was a traveler, Your Honor.
A traveler?
According to his passport, he had been out of the country for a number of years. He had only returned to this country recently. His place of residence is unclear.
And he had some sort of connection with the defendant.
That, too, is unclear at present, Your Honor. We believe they first met at the Borscht Bowl Club the night of the crime.
They had only just met, then why murder? Perhaps the victim cited the defendant's piano playing?
It doesn't appear to have been the case. No, the motive had nothing to do with the defendant's lack of playing skill. At least not piano playing. I'll let this photo explain what I mean. As we can see, a game of poker was in progress at the scene of the crime.
Wait a second. Isn't poker gambling? That's a crime in and of itself.
Indeed, it appears our defendant has fallen to become the basest sort of criminal.
It is true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim. Yet it was only that, a game, it appears since. A competition, Your Honor.
A competition?
Yes, a test of wits, a silent clash of passions. Only the cards at the back wreathed in blue flames know what his final outcome. Come again?
The cards on the table are blue backs, Your Honor. I believe defense was waxing poetic in an attempt to mystify those present, and impress women.
That'll be our first order of business here, then, to find out more about this fatal game of cards. Very well, defendant. You will testify to the court about the poker competition held on the night of the crime. My pleasure. This is it, my first trial. Here goes nothing. I'm a pianist by trade, yet I hardly play at all. My real job is to take on interested customers over at the poker table. The room where we play in the competition are there on distant club's main attractions. The rules are simple. Play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. That's all it is, a game. Our customers are happy. Pianist who can't play piano?
Better than defense attorney who can defend.
Very well, defense may begin the cross-examination. Right, Your Honor. First cross-examination. Don't blow it. You're right. You're sweating bullets.
Bullets? Where?
It's a figure of speech, Justice. Voice sounds strained and raspy, too. My brain feels strained and raspy, sir. You've watched me perform cross-examinations many times, but you've never done one yourself, have you? Here for a refresher.
No need for LPS, sir. I think I got this covered.
I think you better do more than think. You know it, or you do not. Fine, course is still ready for battle. My weapons, press and present. Find any inconsistencies in the lies and the testimony, avail them to the court. That is cross-examination. Want it? Know it. Do it. Consistencies. Lies. Phoenix fight. As if. You'd I would never lie. It's to me to prove it. Feds may begin the cross-examination. Hold it! So, you claim you weren't gambling. That's right, it was simply a game. You didn't bet any money, not even a little. The only thing at stake was our game, was pride itself. Oh ho, on purpose, right? I got a mind to play a hand of poker myself. The stakes, your fate! Can we get back to the trial now? I can't imagine Mr. White lying in a testimony. Isn't it a little early to tell me to conclusions? Today's your first cross-examination. Take it slow. More information, don't forget to press. Right, I got it. I'm fine. Hold it! You can hardly play. Well, I play sometimes. If customers demand it. So I play them one song. That's usually all they want. I'm supposed to be a boast just now. Title of pianist is a mask. Respectable face I wear for the world at large. Why are you really at the Borscht Ball Club? Hold it! Hold it! Hold it! They pay you to play poker. That would seem to be the case. I am a professional, after all.
Bah, they just take pride in that statement. It's just hard for an honest, hard-working member of society like me to imagine.
Yes. Imagination is always a bit limited, Winston.
What?
I played poker for 7 years in that little room, and I've never lost once. What? You see why the customers come now? Defeat the undefeated poker champion. It's quite a draw. That is, I am quite a draw.
But you've never lost once. Not even one time.
As I said, I'm a professional. He's played poker for 7 years and not lost once. Is that even possible? Hold it! The room in the crime scene photo is an attraction? That has quite a history, actually. The Borscht Ball Club used to be a gambling spot for black market types back in the day. The black market? All in the past. Things like the black market are only on a silver screen nowadays. Suffice to say that there were a lot of deals being made under the table. Right there in that room. A smoky room, gambling hoods, you know. Just looking at this picture makes me feel bad. Bosses gather around the table, cutting deals, safe from the eyes of the law. Meanwhile, the goons keep watch through the small window. You can practically picture it now. And the window does look like it'd be good for keeping a lookout, but little else. The room had a few other tricks to it. There was common knowledge to regulars. At any rate, they come to play poker in a room steeped in history. Despite the dark past, it was all just good, clean fun. Oh, hold it! 2 decks of cards. Simple measure to prevent cheating. If you alternate 2 decks, no one can slip in cards. There's something else I've noticed. In addition to the cards on the table, there are some lying scattered on the floor. Precisely, cards on the table, cards upon the floor, each one affording a complete deck. A crime scene painted blue by a sad sweep of cards. It's poetic, really. Incidentally, we use 2 types of cards at the club. One deck of cards is red, the other blue. As I recall, in poker you make 5-card hands. As you see how it would be easy to cheat. Yes, a game of hands. This competition you're talking about. I believe the court understands the nature of the game sufficiently. That's right. It's just a simple game after all. Are you sure? Huh? People are not murdered over simple games, Mr. Justice. Defendant, you were in the room the very moment the crime occurred, and you claim no connection to the crime? Now that's strange. What's strange? I was testifying about the competition that night. Asking me about the crime at this point is against the rules, Your Honor. Of course, I expected to hear a cry of objection from the defense. The other one slipped by. Don't despair yet, Justice. Sir? Right. There's something I'd like to make clear. and they need a connection to the case at hand. I'd like to hear it from you. Sure, why not? Very well. Defendant will amend his testimony. Just one little press. I got myself a whole new testimony. Objection! So you say you didn't touch the murder weapon? This grape juice bottle, right? So I said. Something the matter, Mr. Justice?
Too bad our new defense attorney never learned how to play dumb.
What's this, Mr. Payne?
I examined the bottle in question, you see. It was covered in the defendant's fingerprints.
Objection! I need a shot, Mr. Justice. I can hear you just fine. Excess yelling could damage the judge's ears in our case. But what about my quartz of steel? Anyways, what's so strange about fingerprints on a bottle in a restaurant? Well, that's true. The prints alone don't prove he did it.
Oh, they wouldn't prove a thing if they were normal fingerprints.
Huh?
But the fingerprints of the murder weapon were upside down.
Upside down? What does that mean?
It means he is holding the bottle inverted. There can only be one reason for that. Yes. To brain someone with a bottle.
Mr. Gavin, I think things took a turn for the worst. Oh, I see no problem, Justice. Huh? The only thing that matters is the truth. There's a good reason for everything. You'll see. Defendant, can you explain your fingerprints on this bottle to the court? I stand by my plea of silence regarding the murder. For now. Not very cooperative, are you? This could hurt your case.
I'm sure he's uncooperative because he's hiding something. There must be some reason.
Your Honor, you seem to have forgotten something. What might that be, Mr. Gavin? On the night of the crime, who was it that reported the murder to the police?
Reported? Well, that was the defendant, Mr. Wright. But still that...
Really?
Yes, well, according to the case file, the murder was reported from near the scene by a call from the defendant's cell phone.
Near the scene?
Let's take a look at a diagram of the murder scene, shall we? The victim was murdered in a small room in a basement 2 floors from ground level. Of course, cell phones can't get reception so far down, so the defendant used the stairs in this hallway to go above ground. The call came from the first floor of the restaurant.
I see. His phone made the call. The defendant could have just fled the scene of the crime if so he chose. Yet he fulfilled his duty as a citizen and reported to the authorities. And you claim he is being uncooperative. Ugh. I say, Mr. Gavin, but now waste this. I think the prosecution has toyed with our client enough for the time being.
Toyed? Are you sure you know what it's more serious about?
When was it you said the defendant was in the room the very moment the crime occurred? How can you possibly know this? That is a good question. How indeed? The answer is simple, Your Honor. The prosecution has a decisive witness.
You're good as they say you are.
Someone else was in the room the night of the crime. Meaning they witnessed the crime. Nothing up till now is going to warm up, Justice. Are you ready? Very well. The prosecution may call its first witness to the stand. The witness will state her name and profession. Hold on just a moment. Where's the witness?
I surmise that she had been fighting by the defense's demonic-looking horns.
Sweet little hair gel, relax, people. Have no fear. If any horns pointed your direction, this court will cut them off. You are sure? I swear on my gavel. Please, come out. Isn't violence against a crime, Your Honor? Well, if you are sure it's okay. I cannot do a Russian accent.
cannot do especially a girl Russian accent.
Now the prosecution. Wait a minute. But the prosecution care to explain the witness's, paraphernalia.
Yes. She is professional, Your Honor. Those are merely the tools of her trade.
And that would be...
My name is Olga O'Reilly. I'm employed as waitress in Bosch Bowl Club restaurant.
Then why the camera?
Of course, it is my pride to serve borscht at his naming restaurant, but also perform, how is it said, other service.
I take it one of these other services taking the customer's pictures?
Duh. Like, for example, this one.
That's... defendant.
Indeed, the night of the murder, man in white hat is the one who got compute.
Indeed, that is the victim. Order. This is quite a piece of evidence to casually drop into our laps.
In the same way I drop cold borscht in laps to customers. Casualty.
Then the court will casually accept this new evidence.
Now, witness, where were you at the time of the murder? I was in room, the hideout, we call it.
Excuse me, the hideout?
It is room where a famous gangster bad guy was arrested. It is room where murder took place.
What?
Your look of utter surprise. It is lovely. I'll post my courtroom door later for you. Photos will be numbered and you will write down which ones you want a copy of.
So there are 3 people in the room at the time of the crime. The victim, Shady Smith, Mr. Wright, and... Olga O'Reilly, a witness. And if Mr. Wright is the killer, that means... Very well, witness, you will testify to the court about that night's events.
That night, customer asked me to deal cards for a game. It was cold. Both players played with hats on, The victim, he played the whole time with hands on lock at his neck. Then, last hand is done, but something terrible has happened, Man flew a victim and is strangling him to death.
Incidentally, who won the game?
Isn't it obvious? The winner was the victim, Mr. Smith. That's ridiculous. Because Mr. White can't lose.
Justice.
Maybe we can come up with a more legitimate objection. But he hasn't lost in 7 years. Take it from me, kid. It happens. I didn't lose a case my first 7 years as prosecutor either. Incidentally, I have some evidence here. These are the poker chips I lay the very moment of the crime. The handed chips on this side belong to the defendant, Mr. Wright. Those on the far side belong to the victim, Mr. Smith.
Chips, you say?
Yes. Imagine the poker is war. Hands use your army, and the chips are the spoils.
I know that. After all, in my youth, I was known as the poker head of courtroom number 3.
I think he meant poker face.
Looking at this picture, it does seem that most of the chips are on the victim's side of the table. Very well, defense may cross-examine the witness.
This one is obvious.
Objection!
Oh, really? Strangled, you say? That's odd. Normal customers only choke on borscht. No, this report shows that the victim died of a blow to the head. Miss O'Reilly, really now, did you witness the crime?
Looking at the picture, it doesn't seem that he was hit. He's still wearing his hat and everything.
Yet, it's the fact that he was hit, Your Honor. Here's a photo we took of the victim with his hat off during our investigation.
Well, that's quite shocking, isn't it? His head certainly was hit.
But I've seen it happen. The defendant, he lunged at victim his neck. Oh, really, Miss O'Reilly? I think I caught you in your own lie this time. Justice, and my enthusiasm, but perhaps you should think this through once more. What do you mean? I found a contradiction. There's one thing in a testimony that troubles me.
Very well. Does seem we should continue the cross-examination.
This horse is dead. Stop beating it. There's such a thing as thinking aloud too much, too.
Hold it! You were dealing cards. Do you do this often?
I'm doing this. If customer wishes it, it's of anything. Borscht, cards, or borscht. It is my work.
It's good to hear players that hasn't forgotten the meaning of service.
Welcome you to Borscht Bowl Club, but Borscht is as warm as the waitress. Thank you for not handing out flies during the cross-examination.
Hold it!
It's already April. It could be cold. On Borscht Bowl Club, you have pride on authentic Russian restaurant theme. Outside it is city in spring, but inside is always cold as Mother Russia.
I'm going there.
When it comes to hot borscht, cold is best seasoning, though.
Hold it!
His locket. I believe it was good luck charm, huh? You gave him many times as he played that night.
Yes, he must have felt it, though it might carry him to the moon and to the stars. Though if it was small enough to fit around his neck, it wouldn't have much lift.
The defense would like a clarification. This is a locket we're talking about? I mean, a pendant with a picture in it, right? Not a rocket.
Of course, I know that. This is probably a pendant shaped like a rocket. That's why she called it that.
No, a locket's a locket. It doesn't matter what shape it. It's considered bad form to poke fun at the heart of hearing in our society. And of hearing, a heart of understanding. So what happened next? Okay, so I think what we have to do is... Yeah, there's no locket here, so I have to present this.
Objection!
You know, there was one curious part in the testimony, just like Mr. Gavin said. But what does it mean?
Mr. Justice, would you care to explain what it is you're thinking so intensely about?
Recall the testimony, Your Honor. The victim played with his hand on locket at his neck, I believe she said. I hope you're about to raise an objection to the witness's grammar. No, but look at this photograph. Do you see a locket on the victim's neck? Well done, Justice. I'm impressed. I knew you'd be able to handle this. But what does it mean?
If you're to believe this witness's testimony as is, then the locket disappeared following the victim's death.
Lockets don't just disappear, Your Honor. It's quite simple when you think about it. The locket is gone, but someone was taken off, no? Be right back, I'm gonna get some water. Since our voice acting makes it felt, but... Might as well save as well. Rocket's taken off. Wait, you don't mean the defendant wasn't strangling the victim at all. He was taking off his locket. Wouldn't that explain it?
Aha!
The
defendant, what do you have to say to this?
Sorry. Yes?
I just noticed this, but you have something hanging around your neck, don't you?
Oh? You mean this? Yes, it is a locket. The photograph inside. A photo of my daughter. Come again?
Mr. Wright, you have a daughter?
We confirmed that at the time of the arrest. The fiction of the locket is indeed Mr. Wright's daughter. Mr. Wright has a locket, too. I'm bored, it's just a coincidence.
Well now, the results of this poker game led to the murder. Perhaps we should hear a bit more about the outcome of the game.
Further testimony won't really be necessary. Alright, well, I think this is where we're going to end off part 1 as well. It's already been 30 minutes. Please enjoy my voice acting, and I'll make sure to get water, actually. See you next time.